welcome to the Poetry Cafe. It's Friday the 13th, so I'm going to be reading lots of scary things, obviously, so you might need to have a spare pair of underpants with you. So, as well as myself, we have two special guests tonight. We have John Smallshaw and Wilfredo, and well, I'm not going to say anything more about either of those yet, but just wait and see. They're very, very exciting and scary, possibly. Actually, I'm not sure they're doing scary things, just me. Couldn't get away with doing a show on Friday the 13th without pretending it was Halloween or something. So, I'm going to start with a new poem. I usually start, as my nickname is Shy Yeti, I usually start with a Yeti-themed poem. So this is a new one. This is called Sassy Miss Sasquatch, which was inspired by, I've just come back from America, went to Portland, and I've been there twice. First time I went, it was really very nice, but the second time I went, they seem to have adopted the Sasquatch as their motto, which is fine, so I was buying lots of t-shirts involving Yeti and stuff. So. But anyway, it made me decide to write a poem about the Sasquatch. Sassy Miss Sasquatch. Sassy Miss Sasquatch. Susanna, not Sue. She's the sassiest gal, perhaps the furriest too. In her dreams loves to dance despite two very big feet. The best tap-dancing beast that you ever could meet. She's a Yeti by name, but a showgirl by nature. Would love to act on the stage, but instead works in HR. Sassy Miss Sasquatch can really cook up a storm, but it's her homegrown fur coat that always keeps her so warm. She is fond of a brew, leaves not grown on a tree. It's the best taste around is belly button fluff tea. Her big wig really is quite the talk of the town. It is made of spaghetti and can be worn as a gown. Sassy Miss Sasquatch really knows what she's doing. She's a true connoisseur of what is called mother's ruin. Sure, it keeps her alert, but it can be misleading when she's left any foes on the floor badly bleeding. She is not to be messed with, neither taken for granted, or else her tight little fist in your face will be planted. Sassy Miss Sasquatch, just a little two-faced. When her moods start to swing, there is no time to waste. Meek and mild for a while till she thinks about the past, and regret fills her head, better hope it don't last. When she's happy, she'll be full of laughter and sass, but when she's mad, you should run, because she's a Sasquatch with gas. Thank you. I'm self-referencing in this poem. I mentioned belly button, but there's a whole poem about belly button fluff tea, but I won't be sharing it tonight. But, good evening, sir. The next poem is, being it is Friday the 13th, I'm going to try and take different aspects of scariness tonight. This one is going to be about, this is called A Devil Without Horns. Without horns, well, the devil looks foolish. Without horns, he looks awfully odd. His forked tail looks terribly droopy, just ignoring all phone calls from God. A devil sans horns is a misfit. A devil sans horns is a mess. No one ever will send him a postcard. No one ever will ask his address. Because a devil who's lacking the headgear, oh, he looks just as bald as a coot. And no matter you trying to cheer him, he is never exactly a hoot. Without horns, well, a devil is useless. Without horns, he's a bit of a joke. A devil like that is just pointless. The poor bugger, he can't even poke. A devil whose horns have gone missing tries to hide the fact under his hat. Or he'll grow his hair into a beehive or just tease it up into a plait. Because a devil who's lacking the assets may well end up a figure of fun, combing over his little bald patches, yes, or keeping his hair in a bun. Without horns, well, a devil's a dummy. Without horns, he's a real laughing stock. He'd be better off caught in the nuddy or wearing a bright summer frock. I suggest that he builds up some courage, maybe knocks back a couple of beers, stepping out on the street with a new look and a chic pair of sweet bunny ears. Yes, a devil whose horns have gone walkies doesn't really feel terribly blessed. With a flat cap to keep out the drafts, though, he can smile to himself and make best. Thank you. The next piece is about a different sort of scariness. It's the scariness of the family. It's called She Lied to Him. She lied to him from when he was just a little child, for she didn't want to lose him nor to see him running wild. He was kept inside at all times, and she told him of the woe, of the terrors of the world out there, things was best he didn't know. That said, made sure to warn him, then too afraid he'd be to check. She told of trolls and wizards, and he became a nervous wreck. Oh, she spoke to him of beasties that would eat him in a flash. She talked of beehive hairdos and of coloured clothes that clash. She lied to him from when he was just a little one, kept him safe there at her side, fear all too soon that he'd be gone. Next told tales of giant lizards, growly bears or made of fur. These images were frightening and they managed to deter. Told odes of headless highwaymen out there on the path to steal. Spoke of hearts forever broken which would never ever heal. She made clear and gave a warning of the evils at the door. By now he seemed to listen and he keenly called for more. She lied to him from when he was just a few days old, but he no longer seemed so frightened, just intrigued by all she told. These are nasty things, you understand. He would simply sit and smirk. Soon invented his own stories of many scary things that lurk. He appeared quite unconcerned and talked of wolves and vampire bats, of toads and taxmen, barking dogs and smart shape-shifting cats, of nightmares and urban legends, old wise tales by word of mouth. She cried in fear on hearing of the horrors of down south. She lied to him as a small boy it was something she'd regret. Cottage windows boarded over bought their shopping up the net. There came a time she tried to leave him. She craved escape for just one day, but he'd swallowed all her keys down to be sure she'd have to stay. There are bad things out there, mother. How could she argue, for she'd lied? No more would she feel the sunshine, no chance to ever step outside. No more picking summer flowers. She'd no more watch the shiny dawn, nor hear the sound of children laughing at all the birds out on the lawn. She lied to him from when he was just a naive lad. She didn't want to let him go, but in the end, they both were mad. Thank you. I'm surprised to note that I mentioned beehive hairdos twice in two poems. I'm sure that's one of those words I've mentioned several thousand times in my poem. Obviously, I've got a beehive hairdo under this hat. It's just setting at the moment, so I can't remove it.
The Ghost of Frederick Rye. Very Shakespearean, isn't it? Bugger all to do with him, anyway. Okay. Writings become the annotations, the exclamations in the margins of my life. I am stifling in the sutures of some silicon-filled future where the fact becomes a fiction and the predilection for affection. I set out with some conviction to look for something more. In the corners of my eyes, where constellations live and die, and where stars are born and burn, I turn into inner space, hoping there I'll find a place where this pen that meets the page is divested of its rate, and in the margins once again, only peace and ink blots shall remain. Books are made to frame these words. Wire-bound things, aye, with sturdy spines. Many times I have been taken far away from where I lay, into another world within this world, and in the whirling of narcotic free, the story. This is the me, the light against the night, the wrong way round, the day that breaks without a sound and yet remains unbroken, a token that will win no prize, more constellations in my eyes. Progressively, I believe in more and more of my own lies. And surprisingly, I knew this would occur. This event was written in the margins when I wasn't there, but was read and readily digested as another fiction. Fact! Was it something that I missed or lacked? In the margins, life is difficult, and to define a future has no future. But the snippings of another suture binds the wounds and hurts a hate. I would not write against the margins of my fate, nor take a page again to save my rage again. I must behave again, I must be brave again. In and on a dusty manuscript, where one more dream was stripped and one more life was ripped to shreds, I put to bed these poems. How about that then? Okay, no.
Well, when I first came to United Kingdom, you can't resist me now, here sipping away on a little bottle of soft drink. It's an emotional night for me because my former public relations consultant is sitting on the second row here. It's been a long time, We were together for a little while and the room is true, Paul. It's true, Yeti. Do I call you Paul or Yeti when you're in this mode? When you're on stage, you're a Yeti. When you're shitting, you're Paul, eh?
That's right.
Of course. Many times waiting for me, sitting in a little flat in Watford. No, housing association flat. Coming home and finding her shitting on a beanbag, chewing her nails, little teacups stained with red, seductive lipstick, cosmopolitan spread across her lap. I get letters from all over the world. You know, when I first came to this country, I did a show at the Glastonbury Festival. And it's wonderful because you meet people from all over the world, all the different shapes and sizes. And little woman, she writes, she's also a performance poet, and she sees herself as the female equivalent of me. She tries to seduce me by mail. She's writing to me a little poem every week. She's old school. She sticks a stamp on the letter and pops it in the post. And she's Buddhist. She believes in reincarnation. And a little poem from her to me, with your kind permission, sweetie. Tonight I'm going to recite that poem. Should we go for it, Yeti?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Serious moment. The first time I ever saw you, I dropped my pasty. But it's okay, it fell into my lap. And although there is a stain there and it's nasty, it reminds me of one rather glorious chap. My love god, my eros, my bow. Oh, how I long to lie in your arms. Alas, there are so many other women I know who also might fall prey to your charms. We've been together in previous lives, in Egypt, in Rome, and in Wigan. We've already been one another's husbands and wives, and oh my word, aren't you a big un? She goes on, I've always worn my trousers so high and my teeth are as gorgeous as yours. I too have enormous, compelling eyes, and go like a train on all fours. So, say you'll be mine and give me a chance to prove that your love is the strongest. And send me a photograph in your vest and pants to prove that our love is the longest. Come on, not happy. Not bad at all.
I want you now. No, I don't. I want you now. Scrub that, I don't. I'll give my life. Next week I won't. I'm quite unsure just what I need. Opinions change and change with speed. I want you to drop everything. Commitment, no, it's just a fling. I want you now, please leave the queue. I need someone, it's just not you. Perhaps we'll marry, please get divorced. Sometimes this love feels kind of forced. I want first choice, hot men to see, to buy me stuff whenever I'm free. I want you now, hell, let's postpone. I've changed my mind, stay on your own. What do I want? My love, I'm charmed. But 6 months in though, I'm quite alarmed. I want my freedom, best stay single. Too much choice, I'd rather mingle. I want you now, where have you been? All of my life, you don't seem keen. Ha! Turn me down, that's not allowed. Your head must be up in the cloud. I want you now, scrub that, screw you. You won't have me, one of the few. Thank you. This is the newest piece that I've written. It's called The Dreaded Lurgy. The dreaded lurgy, he's not so bad, he's not so dreadful, no, not so mad. Sure, he may look pale and quite germ-ridden, but his hugs are nice if kept well hidden. He'll introduce himself, get out and mingle, he'll shake your hand, your spine will tingle. But don't believe the press nor what is written, to that noted menace you'll soon be smitten. The dreaded lurgy, he is your mate, he is your friend, your dinner date. He may look unwell and rather sickly, he may shout a bit, kind of prickly, but you'll not regret you ever met him. He's on the mend, so don't upset him. He has no stink, no nasty odour, but soaks his teeth in cherry soda. The dreaded lurgy, he's quite a card, his fans hold him in high regard. Is he dead already or just slacking off? Could you catch his nagging, hacking cough? No! What makes you think he'd give you flu? There are far nicer things he'd rather do to make you relax, not make you iller. This snot-nosed bogeyman's no killer. Thank you. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.